So I went in there kind of just ready to relax and release some stress, maybe muscle knots that are accumulating here, and I left a different person.
Chaz Roca had no hesitations when she stepped into a Williamsburg Massage Luxe on December 15th of last year.
Things took a real bad turn very fast.
But by the time she stepped out of the spa, she'd become a victim of sexual assault.
I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
Roca had no idea, but the man massaging her that day, Sean Robinson, had done this before at spas roughly 60 miles down I-64 in the Richmond area.
Whoever's involved put me under the hands of him. And this is something I'll never forget. It's traumatizing.
This story is convoluted, full of communication breakdowns and failures that allowed a serial predator to continue getting access to women in their most vulnerable state, naked and alone with Robinson on a massage table.
This was entirely preventable.
It was. And that's the saddest part, is this didn't need to happen to me. I didn't need this.
It all started when Robinson was accused by two women of assaulting them during massages at a Chesterfield Massage Envy in February of 2018. A grand jury indicted him for raping one of the women in March of 2019. And yet, 6 months later, two women reported Robinson to the Board of Nursing for allegedly touching them in ways they were not comfortable with during massages at Massage Luxe in Richmond. In one case, the woman told a board investigator she fought Robinson off as he tried to put his finger inside her anus.
He gets to move locations and then gets to practice like nothing's ever happened. I'm sorry, but that's insane.
So why was Robinson not in jail? We found the rape indictment in March of 2020 as part of a CBS 6 investigation, and we asked police why Robinson was never arrested. Chesterfield police told us, yes, the indictment was entered into their record system, but they did not know he had been indicted, so they never tried to find him. Because of our inquiry, police immediately arrested Robinson. Prosecutors then entered into a plea deal with him in July of 2020 for a lesser charge, misdemeanor sexual battery. The sentence, 4 months behind bars. But the story did not end there.
There was a failure to protect these people.
Meet Brandy Bavell. She owns the Old Mechanicsville Health Spa on the Mechanicsville Turnpike. In August of 2020, she was looking to hire a massage therapist.
I got a resume through Indeed for Sean Robinson.
So she did what she always does with applicants. She looked Robinson up on the Virginia Department of Health Professions website and Googled him. She found our investigation and a board investigation into his conduct.
And reading through it, like, those stories are awful. It made me sick to my stomach reading them.
And yet Robinson still had an active license to practice massage. Why? Well, the board can only suspend a license immediately without a hearing if a licensee is convicted of a felony. And the police and courts are not required to report the conviction of a licensee to the board.
Something needs to be fixed. The system isn't working.
Bavell was so concerned, she wrote a letter to the Board of Nursing.
So there's a history, there's a pattern here. Why does he still have a license?
She says an investigator contacted her right away, and yet the board did not suspend Robinson's license until October 30th of 2020. In the meantime, he got a job at the Massage Luxe in Williamsburg in August. Massage Luxe told us they conducted a background check on Robinson, and he did have a valid license when they hired him.
It doesn't make sense to me. How long does it take? A predator's out there putting hands on women on a daily basis.
Robinson went on to sexually assault 5 more women, including Roca, at the Williamsburg Massage Luxe between August and December of 2020. Roca stopped him when she was the first to report him to police and speak out publicly with us in December.
So I'm trying not to cry, but I felt like my story was validated. Even though I knew what happened to me, the fact that others came out.
Now that Robinson has been convicted in her case and the 4 others, Roca is moving forward with her life.
I chose to get Onyx because I was dealing with this unfortunate event alone.
In her quest to release negative energy, she hopes someone will be held accountable for allowing Sean Robinson to continue to put his hands on women.
Somebody has to acknowledge that they were wrong with keeping this guy in massage parlors. And I don't know who to blame. It doesn't make sense to me. How long does it take? A predator's out there putting hands on women on a daily basis.
First, there was Sean Robinson. The massage therapist was convicted of sexual battery in Chesterfield in July of 2020 after a woman told police he raped her during a massage. He only served 4 months in jail, and the Board of Nursing did not pull his license until October of that year, enabling him to get another job in Williamsburg, where he was later arrested and convicted of sexually assaulting 5 additional women.
My questions still stand as they always stand previously. How and why did this happen? Why did he still have his license?
Then there is Dr. Michael Pollack, a local chiropractor who was charged in June with sexual battery and object sexual penetration in Richmond after 2 women alleged that he assaulted them at the Advanced Wellness Center in May. Despite the charges and a lengthy history with the Board of Medicine, who investigated him several times for sexual misconduct, Pollack still has an active medical license.
I just think that the Board of Medicine needs to reevaluate how they handle cases. They're responsible. It's the board's fault, and they should have listened to multiple women talk about their experiences and take it seriously.
Robinson's victims and Pollack's accusers say the licensing boards did not do enough to protect them. So we took their concerns and questions to the man in charge of the agency that oversees the state's 13 health regulatory boards, Dr. David Brown.
All of our boards take their job seriously.
Dr. Brown told me he could not by law comment on individual cases or licensees, but I asked why a spokeswoman at the Virginia Department of Health Professions told me she would have to call security if I tried to interview a member of the Board of Medicine at a recent disciplinary hearing.
So it's illegal for a board member to discuss what's in the case file. They've read through lots of material before they come to a meeting. So the only thing that's publicly available is what's said in the hearing. Our concern is that if a board member attempted to answer any questions, they might stray from what was discussed to what they learned about reviewing the case file. And so it's sort of a perilous position for them to be in, at risk of breaking the law.
Brown added that board members are not allowed to discuss their decisions.
Why wasn't more done? Why was that what occurred? And the answers to that are the only answers are contained in the orders that are issued by the board.
We also asked Brown about why a licensee who was convicted of a crime of a sexual nature on the job might not have their license immediately suspended.
Sometimes we're notified of that, and sometimes we're not. You know, that's one of the areas which potentially we could be strengthened, would be to require courts to notify us when any of our licensees are convicted. They currently, they don't.
Dr. Brown is referring there to courts not notifying the licensing boards. We also found out the boards may not know when a licensee is charged with a crime.
So we are authorized in Virginia Code to disclose violations of criminal law to law enforcement, and we do that on a regular basis. At the same time, we sometimes receive notification from law enforcement of violations of law, potential violations of law against our licensees.
So there's no law requiring law enforcement to alert you to violations of law involving licensing?
I'm not aware of any.